you've pulled back, given her space, maybe even gone completely silent. Yet deep down you have this feeling she hasn't truly moved on. Women don't always express their emotions outright, but their actions. They speak louder than words ever could. If she's missing you, craving your presence, it will slip through in ways she can't control today. We're breaking down 10 undeniable signs that she can't stop. Stop thinking about you, and to keep things in check, we're adding a Stoic twist, because a high-value man never chases. He observes, he decides, and he acts with purpose. Let's dive in. Number 1, she keeps finding excuses. She keeps finding excuses to contact you. At first it seems casual. A random question about something meaningless, or even a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" But don't be fooled. She's reaching out because she wants a response. A woman who's truly over you wouldn't need an excuse to talk. This isn't just about words. It's about intent when she misses you. She won't always say it outright. Instead, she'll find ways to pull you back into her world. Maybe she brings up an inside joke from months ago, something you both laughed about. Maybe she casually asks about a movie you once planned to watch together. These aren't coincidences. They're breadcrumbs, small ways she's trying to see if you're still there. But here's where most men make a mistake. They see these messages and react emotionally, thinking, "She wants me back." That's a dangerous mindset. A man grounded in Stoicism doesn't let external events dictate his peace. As Seneca put it, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. A simple message can trigger a flood of emotions, but the truth is, it's only as significant as you make it. Your mind starts spinning, creating scenarios, reviving old feelings, but all of that exists only in your head. The reality, it's just a text, nothing more, nothing less. What matters is how you choose to respond. Calm, composed, and in control, you control the frame. You decide when and if to engage. If you respond, do so from a place of confidence, not desperation. A simple, composed reply is enough. No over-explaining, no emotional flood. If you choose silence, let it be a silence of strength, not of bitterness. Either way, your energy remains intact the moment a woman truly feels your absence. She starts to reflect the laughter, the comfort, the sense of security she once had with you. It all comes rushing back. And as time passes, that absence grows heavier. This is where silence becomes your greatest tool. Not as a game, but as a statement. You are not easily accessed when a woman desperately misses you. She won't just reach out once if she truly regrets losing you. She will show persistence. It may start small, but over time you'll notice she lingers in places you used to be. She watches your stories. She reacts to your posts. These are not random actions. They are signals. The key is to stay centered, to remain in control of your emotions. As Seneca said, he who is brave is free. Free from chasing, free from validation, free from being swayed by temporary emotions. If she misses you, let her come to you. If she values you, let her prove it. And in the meantime, you keep living, keep growing, and keep being the man who doesn't just react, he chooses. Number 2, she stalks your social media. Ever notice she's watching your stories, liking old photos, or suddenly commenting on something random? Women are naturally subtle, but their curiosity will always betray them, even if she doesn't interact. She's watching, because deep down, she still cares. This isn't just about social media. If she suddenly starts asking mutual friends about you, or bringing up inside jokes from the past, that's her way of holding on to a connection she doesn't want to admit is slipping when a woman misses you. She won't always say it outright. Instead, she'll find ways to remind you, subtle, indirect gestures that reveal more than she realizes. Maybe she posts something nostalgic, hoping you'll notice. Maybe she listens to a song you both loved and casually mentions it. These are signals, breadcrumbs leading back to a feeling she can't shake. Sometimes she might even try to make you jealous. She'll post pictures looking her best, laughing surrounded by others, acting as if she's moved on effortlessly. But here's the truth. If she was truly over you, she wouldn't need to prove it. A woman who's at peace with her decision doesn't look back the fact that she's making herself visible in your world. Even indirectly speaks volumes. She's seeking your attention without saying it outright. But here's the key. You don't react. You don't chase the true Stoic moves with purpose, not desperation. You post, you live, you grow. Not for her, but for yourself. A man grounded in his own path doesn't need to seek validation. He understands that if someone truly values him, they will make their presence known in time by staying on your purpose, by maintaining your discipline and self-respect. You let her absence do the work for you. There's a reason she's checking in from the shadows. She sees you thriving, unbothered, untethered to the past. That contrast her emotional turmoil against your steady composure makes her miss you even more. Silence in this case is not indifference. It's strength, and strength is magnetic. So when she hovers around your world but won't fully step in, recognize it for what it is. It's her way of saying she misses you without actually saying it. And the best response, keep moving forward. Let her feel the weight of your absence. Let your unwavering presence in your own life remind her of the space she once occupied. If she truly values you, she'll have no choice but to bridge the distance herself. A woman only truly misses what she cannot fully have, and the man who understands this never needs to chase because he already knows his worth. Now take a moment to reflect. Have you ever noticed this pattern before? Have you seen the subtle ways someone tries to linger in your world without directly stepping in? Maybe you've even been on the other side, scrolling through an old flame's profile, wondering what could have been. Whatever your experience, share your thoughts in the comments below. Or if you want to keep it simple, just drop "Strength is magnetic" in the comments to let me know you're walking your own path. With "She mentions you in conversations with mutual friends." Confidence number 3. She mentions you in conversations with mutual friends. If she really didn't care, your name wouldn't even come up. But when your friends casually mention, "Hey, she was asking about you," that's not just random curiosity. It means you're still on her mind. She's subtly testing the waters, trying to gauge whether you still think about her too. Maybe she's too proud to reach out directly, or maybe she's battling with her emotions, trying to convince herself that she doesn't care either way. The fact that she's bringing you up in conversation means something. Whether she admits it or not, most men, the moment they hear this, start overanalyzing. They let their emotions take over, wondering if it's a sign she wants them back, and worse, they act on impulse, breaking the silence, reaching out too soon, thinking they need to take advantage of this moment. But a man of discipline, a man who understands his worth, does not chase breadcrumbs of attention. He doesn't react to gossip. He knows that if she's truly missing him, she'll have to do more than just ask about him through mutual friends. You see, when a woman misses you, she won't always show it in the most obvious way. Sometimes she won't text or call because she's waiting for you to break first. But the fact that she's talking about you, that's a crack in the wall. She's trying to keep up. She's feeling the void your absence has created. Maybe she thought she could move on easily. Maybe she thought you were just another guy. But now she's questioning that every time your name comes up, it triggers something inside her. It makes her wonder if she made the right choice. If she underestimated what you brought into her life, a Stoic man remains unmoved by this. He knows that desire is strongest in absence, not in pursuit. Marcus A.R. once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it. The weak man lets his emotions dictate his next move. He reacts, he chases, he gives away his strength. But the man who holds his ground, he forces her to feel the full weight of missing him. He doesn't fall for the bait of indirect attention. Instead, he continues his path, improving himself, living his life with purpose. That's the difference between someone who is at the mercy of emotions and someone who commands them. Now imagine this. She hears that you're doing well, that you're thriving, that you haven't been sulking in her absence. That's when the real regret starts to settle in, because nothing makes a woman miss a man more than realizing he's not waiting around for her. If you maintain your composure, if you continue to grow in your own direction without seeking her validation, she will feel the power shift. She will feel the loss. So when you hear that she's been asking about you, don't be quick to react. Don't let your emotions take the lead. Stay patient. Stay grounded. Let her sit with her thoughts. Let her feel the silence, because that silence is speaking louder than any words ever could. If she truly misses you, she won't just ask about you. She'll find a way to come back. And by that time, you'll be in a position of strength, not because you played games, but because you mastered yourself. That's the mark of a man who knows his worth. Number 4, she reminisces about the good times. The good times ever get a random text, like "I just heard our song today," or "Remember that time this is nostalgia at work." She's replaying moments in her mind, wishing she could relive them with you. This isn't just a casual message, it's a sign when a woman truly misses you. Her mind starts pulling her back into the moments you shared. She finds herself reminiscing about the times you made her laugh. The late-night talks, the small, seemingly insignificant things that now feel huge in your absence. She's feeling the weight of the void you left behind. And let's be honest, if she was fully over you, she wouldn't be reaching out like this. When emotions are strong, people tend to seek comfort in familiarity. This is why she sends that random message. Maybe it's a song, a place, or even an inside joke, something that brings her back to you. She's testing the waters, seeing if you'll bite, if you'll give her that validation, if you'll remind her that the connection is still there. A wise man enjoys memories, but he doesn't become a prisoner to them. He understands that the past is a lesson, not a place to dwell. If she's looking back, it means she's feeling something, but you're already ahead, moving forward with purpose. Your value isn't in the past. It's in who you are now and who you're becoming. Think about it. If she's reminiscing, it means she's feeling your absence. And absence, when handled correctly, creates presence in her mind. If you rush in too quickly, you give her comfort. But if you remain composed, grounded and unaffected, she starts to feel that pull even more. It's not about playing games, it's about understanding human nature. The truth is, when a woman desperately misses you, she isn't looking for just a response. She's looking for reassurance. She wants to know she still has a place in your mind. But a high-value man doesn't make it that easy. He knows that attraction is built in space, in longing, in the curiosity of whether or not he's still within reach. So if she's reaching out, acknowledge it for what it is, a sign that your presence lingers in her thoughts. But the key: stay grounded, stay in control, keep moving forward, because the moment she realizes that you are not just waiting, but thriving, that's when she truly feels your absence, and that's when she misses you the most. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever received one of these nostalgic messages? How did you respond? Drop your experience in the comments. Or if you're staying grounded and focused on your own growth, just type, "I move forward with purpose." Let's keep the conversation going. Number 5, she gets emotional. She gets emotional when she sees you moving on. When she sees you moving on, maybe she gets moody when she hears you're dating someone new. Maybe she reacts coldly when she sees you thriving without her. Either way, her emotions are exposing her attachment. She might act indifferent, try to convince the world and herself that she doesn't care, but deep down, something inside her stirs. You see, emotions don't lie. A woman who has completely moved on doesn't flinch. When she hears your name, she doesn't suddenly go quiet when friends mention how well you're doing. She doesn't go out of her way to prove she's over you. But if she does, because if she starts acting strange, reacting with jealousy, or finding reasons to insert herself into your life again, she misses you, and not just in a casual way, but in a deep, unsettling way that she may not fully understand herself. Silence has a power that most men underestimate. When you walk away without bitterness, without a need to prove anything, you leave space and emptiness she has to face, and that silence can feel deafening. A woman who once took your presence for granted now has to sit with the reality of your absence, and that's when you'll see it. She starts watching your stories, liking an old post by accident, finding little ways to be noticed. Maybe she suddenly reaches out, not to say she misses you directly, but to ask a random question or bring up something insignificant. These aren't coincidences. They are small windows into her internal struggle. Stoicism teaches that a man does not seek reactions. He simply moves with purpose. He does not craft his life in a way that forces a woman to feel his loss. He simply thrives with or without her. And in that thriving, something happens. She begins to feel what life is like without your presence. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding human nature. People don't truly appreciate something until they feel what it's like to be without it. Imagine a fire that once burned intensely but was left unattended. At first it seems like the flames have died, but give it time, add the right conditions, and those embers can reignite. If she had real feelings for you, your silence becomes the oxygen that fuels her emotions. Suddenly, she finds herself reminiscing about the moments she once brushed off. The little thing, your presence, your energy, the way you made her feel start to creep back into her mind, and the more she resists it, the more it lingers. And this is where most men go wrong. They break their silence too soon. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They feel a sense of satisfaction in knowing she misses them, and rush to reconnect, undoing all the power of their absence. But a Stoic man, he does not rush, he does not chase, he does not crumble just because she suddenly realizes his value. Instead, he remains rooted in his purpose. He understands that true power lies in being a man who is whole, whether she comes back or not. So if she truly misses you, let her prove it. Let her feel the weight of her own choices. Let her sit with the realization that your presence was not something to take lightly. And if she finds her way back, by then the real question is, will you still be interested? Because a man who truly values himself never waits to be chosen. He chooses, and that, my friend, is the ultimate power. Number 6. She tries to recreate your presence in her life. She tries to recreate your presence in her life. Suddenly she's into your favorite band. She visits places you used to go together. Maybe she even picks up a habit you introduced her to. These are subconscious ways of keeping you close, even when you're not there. She might not even realize she's doing it, but every time she plays that song, every time she steps into that coffee shop, every time she orders that drink, you always got. It's like a silent bridge back to you. Nostalgia isn't just a memory, it's a longing, an emotional echo of what once was, and when she starts adopting things that remind her of you, it's her way of holding on to a connection she's afraid of losing completely. Maybe she told herself she moved on. Maybe she even convinced you that she was fine without you. But emotions don't follow logic. They follow patterns, habits, and deep-seated desires. One moment, she's insisting that the breakup was for the best. The next, she's scrolling through old photos, reminiscing about the way you made her laugh. She brings you up in conversations with friends, not realizing how often your name slips out. She might even message you out of nowhere with something as simple as, "Hey, Remember when we went there? It's not just about the memory, it's about the feeling, the way you made her feel, the sense of security, excitement, or warmth that she now finds missing in her life. A woman who truly misses you will find herself drawn back to the essence of who you are. And here's where Stoicism comes in, because a man rooted in Stoicism does not let his emotions dictate his actions. He doesn't chase after the past, no matter how tempting it is. He recognizes that attachment often disguises itself in small, almost unnoticeable ways, and instead of reacting impulsively, he stays steady, focused on the present. If she truly longs for you, if she comes to realize your value, she must face that realization on her own. You don't need to remind her. You don't need to prove anything. There's power in absence, your silence, your unwavering composure. It forces her to confront what she's lost. And if she starts seeing you everywhere in the music, she listens to the places she visits, even in the jokes she repeats. It's because she hasn't truly let go time and distance. Do what words cannot, let them work in your favor. Because if she truly misses you, if she realizes your presence was more than just a fleeting moment in her life, she will come back. Not because you pushed, but because she couldn't stay away. So what do you think? Have you ever noticed someone doing this after a breakup? Maybe even yourself. Nostalgia has a way of sneaking up on us, making us relive moments we thought we had left behind. But here's the real question. Do you believe S holds more power than words? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, or if you just want to let this message sink in. Type time reveals all. Let's see how many of you resonate with this truth. Number 7, she shows up in. She shows up in places she knows you'll be, places she knows you'll be. You bump into her at your usual coffee shop. She's suddenly at the gym. You go to coincidence. Probably not. She's placing herself in your orbit, hoping for an accidental counter. At first you might brush it off. Maybe she just discovered a new love for lattes, or perhaps she suddenly became passionate about fitness. But the frequency, the timing too aligned to ignore. It's not that she's stalking you, but she's making it easy for your paths to cross, creating opportunities for connection without having to say a word. It's her subtle way of closing the distance. She once created a woman who truly moves on, rarely lingers in the places you frequent. If she's there, it means something. Maybe she regrets pushing you away. Maybe she misses your presence, your energy, the way you made her feel, and yet she doesn't want to be the one to say it outright. Pride, fear, uncertainty. These keep her from texting you directly. Instead, she lets proximity speak for her. And here's where your response matters. The undisciplined man reacts. He sees her and immediately takes the bait, rushing over, assuming she's ready to reconcile. He lets excitement dictate his actions. But a man rooted in Stoicism, a man who values his own frame, understands something deeper. Awareness is power, but reaction is weakness. You don't need to jump at the chance just because she's near. Instead, you hold your ground. You stay composed. You acknowledge her presence with calm indifference, a glance, a nod. Maybe even a casual hello, but nothing more. She expects you to acknowledge her in a way that validates her feelings, to confirm that her efforts are working. But when you remain centered, when you continue on your path as if you are unaffected, she starts to feel that pull even stronger. The more she realizes you are not orbiting her world, the more she longs to be part of yours again. This is the essence of control. The Stoics teach us that the only thing truly within our power is ourselves, our actions, our emotions, our responses. If she's missing you, if she's placing herself in your path, let her do the work. Let her feel the weight of your absence. A man of true value never needs to chase. He simply allows the right people to return on their own number. 8. She reacts strongly to your silence. If your absence truly did matter, she reacts strongly to your silence. She wouldn't be so affected by it if she lashes out, gets passive-aggressive or starts playing mind games, it means your silence is louder than any words. A woman who genuinely doesn't care won't waste her energy trying to provoke a reaction from you. But when she starts acting differently, when she suddenly becomes unpredictable, emotional, or even distant, in a way that feels calculated, it's because your absence is creating a void she doesn't know how to handle. She might try to mask it by pretending she's unbothered, but the truth always reveals itself in her actions. Maybe she starts posting cryptic messages online, hoping you'll see them and wonder if she's talking about you, or perhaps she reaches out in the most trivial way, asking about something insignificant just to test the waters. And then there are those times when she acts cold and indifferent, as if she's moved on completely, only for you to later hear that she's been asking mutual friends about you. All of these behaviors are signs that she desperately misses you. Even if she refuses to admit it, the power of silence is undeniable. A man who understands restraint knows that sometimes the best response is no response at all. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This applies here, when a woman tries to stir up drama or pull you into her emotional whirlwind. The Stoic response is to remain unshaken. Your silence forces her to sit with her own emotions, making her confront what she truly feels, think about it. If she genuinely didn't care, she wouldn't feel the need to test you to see if you'll crack to measure whether she still has influence over you. That's why your absence speaks louder than anything you could say. It reminds her of your value, of the presence she once took for granted, and in that space where she expected you to chase, to seek closure, to beg for her attention, you do the opposite. You stay composed, focused on your own path, showing through your actions that your peace isn't up for negotiation. In the end, a woman missing you isn't about what she says. It's about how she reacts to the void you leave behind. And the man who remains still in the storm, who doesn't react but instead observes, is the one she can't forget. Number 9, she keeps a door open for you. Maybe she says things like, she keeps a door open for you, hope you're doing well. Or I just wanted to check in. These aren't just polite words. They're breadcrumbs. She's leaving the door slightly open, hoping you'll step through. But here's the thing. When a woman truly misses you, her actions will speak louder than her words. She might casually send a meme that reminds her of an inside joke you once shared. Or maybe she brings up something random from your past conversations, just to rekindle that connection. She might accidentally like an old post of yours, or reply to your story with something vague, just enough to get your attention without making it obvious. Maybe she even finds an excuse to ask for your opinion on something trivial, just to hear your voice again. She's searching for a response, for any sign that you still care. And if she's the one initiating after pulling away, that's a clear sign she's feeling your absence. This is where a Stoic mindset sets you apart. A man who understands his value doesn't rush in the moment she opens the door. He doesn't immediately validate her emotions because he knows that real attraction is built in space, not in chasing. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this. And you will find strength. That strength is in your ability to remain composed, to resist the urge to react impulsively, and instead to observe. Understand this. Your absence creates presence when she realizes that you're not easily available, that you won't just fall back into her orbit. The second she calls, that's when she starts to miss you even more. Women don't miss men who are constantly seeking validation. They miss the ones who can stand firm, who don't waver at the first sign of attention. Your silence is powerful. It forces her to reflect, to compare, to wonder if she made a mistake, and if she truly values you. She won't just send breadcrumbs. She'll make it clear she wants you back in her life if she's waiting for you. Let her wait. Let her wonder. Let her sit with the weight of your absence, because when you're truly a man of value, Your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. You don't walk through a door simply because she left it ajar. You walk only where you choose. She admits she misses you. Number 10. She admits she misses you at some point. She will either say it outright or let it slip in a moment of weakness. Maybe she texts you late at night. Maybe she gets emotional and tells you, "I miss how things used to be." Whatever the case, it's confirmation you're still in her head. Oh, a woman who truly misses you will find ways to keep you tethered to her world, even if she doesn't fully realize she's doing it. She might react to your old photos, bring up inside jokes. Only the two of you understand, or mention places you used to go together. She might send a random, "How have you been?" text masking it as casual, when in reality she's looking for any excuse to re-enter your life. She may even act distant at first, pulling away to, "if you'll chase," but her actions betray her. She lingers a little too long, waits a little too long for you to respond, hopes a little too much that you'll notice. The man of discipline does not gloat. He acknowledges, but he remains composed because he was never seeking her validation in the first place. A Stoic understands that longing, desire, and attachment are emotions that belong to the one experiencing them, just as he does not allow rejection to define him. He does not allow her longing to inflate his ego. He remains centered, knowing that if she misses him, it is because she has now realized the value of what she once had. He was already whole without her attention, and that is precisely why she feels the void. Consider a man who once loved deeply, but refused to lose himself in the process. When she left, he did not chase. He did not plead. He let time do its work, knowing that emotions settle like ripples on water. Given enough space, they clarify what truly matters. Now she finds herself looking back, haunted by the realization that he was the steady presence she took for granted. This is the power of a man who understands his worth. A woman missing you is not a sign to run back, nor is it a moment to seek revenge. It is merely proof that the energy you carried was rare, and now she feels its absence. If she reaches out, meet her words with grace, not desperation. If she confesses she misses you, recognize it for what it is, a natural consequence of time and perspective. But above all, remember this. Your value was never dependent on her recognizing it. You were valuable all along. So if you've noticed several of conclusion, these signs, there's no doubt she desperately misses you. But here's the key. How you respond is everything. A weak man lets excitement cloud his judgment, rushing back into her orbit, eager for validation. He seeks comfort in her attention, unaware that the real power lies in his ability to stand firm. A Stoic man. He observes, he remains centered, he moves with purpose, he understands that his worth isn't defined by someone else's longing, but by his own sense of self-mastery. He doesn't chase. He attracts. He doesn't react. He responds with wisdom, and that's what keeps people drawn to him, because at the end of the day, it's not about making her miss you. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally commands respect, admiration, and desire, by simply being himself, a man who doesn't need to play games or seek validation, because his presence alone is enough. Now, tell me, have you noticed any of these signs in your own life? Have you felt the shift when you pulled back and let your absence do the talking? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and the lessons you've learned. And if you found value in this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, because the best way to grow is to spread wisdom. The more we understand ourselves, the more powerful we become. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay powerful, and stay in control.